and you're here with Ron and Romane. It's also a thankful Thursday. My partner in time is back, and it's been somewhat of an ordeal for you.
Yes, it has.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Yes, it has. Thank
But
you.
you know what? You're here, live and in color.
Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. Our trio is down to a duo right now. Mama C is away on I guess a mission of mercy, helping out a good friend of hers, and that's something we all need to do.
Hmm.
We all need to extend our hand as much as we can for those in need. And while I'm on that subject, a young man I knew recently committed suicide. And sometimes we just need to check on those people that we haven't heard from in a while. Because even though people may wear a smile, all day long, behind that smile, something, sinister is going on, right? There's those dark periods we all go through, and some of us can recover and others can't. So I think we just need to check on each other, make sure that we're okay, and let people know that sometimes it's okay not to be okay,
Hmm.
and that there's help if they need it. So, we've been talking about this prior to coming on the air. And, I go on social media quite often and I see so many young women who are basically naked, right? Looking for friends. I'm not quite sure what sort of friends they hope to attract, and it makes me wonder, do women think that men are going to stay committed to them based solely on their physical attributes? What do you think about that?
Um, Ron, I'm not even sure that that generation has even given it that much thought. I think that they're just so oversexed,
Uh-huh.
that they're not giving it much thought. I think the media feeds them sex from the time that they get up in the morning until the time they go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is consumed by sex. You turn the TV on, it's sex. You listen to the music, it's sex. They selling a car is sex. They selling clothes is sex. Everything is sex.
Well, sex sells, right? I
Um,
mean, that sex has been a marketing tool
yeah,
for generations now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take a generation who, sorry guys, who may already be a little lost,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then you do that, because they're just looking really for something touchable and tangible, right? Something that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they don't know what they need that's real. They just know they need something real. And so I think that the girls, the women have not given that much thought as to whether or not, that's really what men want. I know I talk to a lot of men,
Mm-hmm.
and the men say that's not what they want. They say we look because they're showing it.
Right.
So we look, and nature
Mm-hmm.
um, cultivates a desire to look, and it's enticing just
Absolutely.
based on nature. Um, but that's not really what they're looking for in a woman. Um, my question after they tell me that is, did you send out the memo?
Hmm.
Because like somebody needs to tell them.
You know, after looking at these pictures of some of these young ladies, it makes me wonder, like, how do you follow that up? So, if the invitation, and it seems that for in many respects it's an open invitation,
Hmm.
how do you follow that up? So now you're on Facebook or some other social media platform, and you're essentially naked. So how do you follow that up on the first date? Is there the normal courtship process,
No.
right? I mean, or is it just, hey, you see me, you friend me, you come over, we do what we have to do, and then it's done? Or is there the belief that this is going to be a lasting and committed relationship?
Well, that's another thing. They're so oversexed that they're not even really thinking about the relationship part of it. There was a time when my generation was coming up, women, um, it was frowned on if you thought about one night stands and stuff like that. That
Mhm.
wasn't something that we really did. I'm not
Mhm.
saying it didn't happen
Right.
with women, but that wasn't the norm. Now the women are like the men.
Mm.
I always say women are emotional. Men can get in the bed and they can get up when they're finished and not feel any attachment whatsoever.
Mhm.
And women can't, but they're proving me wrong these days.
Um, I don't know. You know, of course, I wouldn't be in a position to say, but in perspective, no, we don't have that same sort of emotional attachment. But have women lost that attachment? Is it just that, well, I know that some of our male counterparts do it, so we can do it too. I mean, is that the prevailing thought now?
I think it is. I mean, let's just look at what's going on right
The
now.
song say girls are players too.
Yes, they said
Oh,
girls are
that's true.
players too, and then the guys are saying you don't want to listen to me, but this happens to us all the time. That's what I'm hearing, right? That they run into women who are cheating and women who just want to have sex or whatever. But what I will say is Terry just mentioned that song "Girls Are Players" too. But in addition to that, I spent the weekend recovering with my hand and watching television and music videos, and I was dumbfounded by a rap artist, a female rap artist that I was formerly introduced to via the television
Right.
over the weekend, and the lyrics. I just couldn't believe it.
Hmm.
So you have this girl, Sexy Red, who is outside of what's considered sexy, right? So she's not no BBL, no boob jobs, no none of that.
She's hideous.
Yes, she wears glasses, she wears a red wig, she's a toothpick,
Look
right?
like 10 Miles of Bad Road.
Yes,
Oh, really?
yes.
Hideous.
And she's singing songs. One song, the title is Pound Town.
Pound town.
Pound Town.
Okay.
And then she follows that with I'm looking for him because he took a chick down. This is these are the words, but this
Mhm.
is all sexual stuff, right? And then she has another part of the song where she says she's in Miami and she's looking for her son needs a new pappy, and this is what's going on. And then after I was exposed to all her music videos, then I found out that she has a line of lip gloss and I don't know if you heard about the lip gloss, Terry. Did you hear about the lip gloss?
It's a penis.
Well, yes, but did you hear about the flavors of the lip gloss?
No.
Okay, so the flavors are one is a yellow glittery lip gloss. It's called Yellow Discharge. One is a green with glitter. It's called Gonorrhea.
Okay.
Yes. The other one is Coochie Juice, um, Cream. This is the stuff, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is what our young girls are listening to.
Yeah. I would be interested to know which parents would allow their children to buy those
It's
products.
sold out.
Sold out. Okay.
They're waiting to be restocked.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I guess, be more vigilant in looking at the internet because I've never heard of this young lady, right? But wow, is that what we've come to?
But wait, I
Mhm.
thought she was just impacting the girls.
Hmm.
And then last night, I'm laying in the bed and I'm scrolling, and I've come across an interview with her, and she's explaining that the best Valentine's Day she ever had was when her first boyfriend went and stole a $13 whatever, stole $13 and bought her a belt. So what that said to me is now you're telling the young men that if they want to impress a girl to go and steal something. And she said she was the most flattered because he stole something for her.
And somebody put her on air to say that.
Yeah. So the buzz is that she's an industry plant and she's the final nail in the casket to destroy our community, because she is booked everywhere.
Really.
She's booked everywhere.
That's kind of depressing, right? When you think about, we have these forums, like annually, semi-annually. We talk about the state of Black America, and we always talk about how far we've come. I think we kind of overlook how far we've fallen,
Mhm.
right? To when you have young women who will get on social media and these photos that they take, these photos are going around the world.
Mhm.
Is that what you want the world to know about you? Not, how intelligent you are, not what your interests are. Just the fact that I got big boobs and I got big hips. And, and Terry says something like this all the time. If it's not for sale, don't put it on display, right? But if that's what you are putting out there, I'm a believer that the energy you put out is the energy you get back.
That's right.
So if what you're looking for is a man who's going to come into your life and commit to you, you think that's the way to attract that man?
Within that culture, yeah, it is.
So I guess these relationships are all transactional, right? There's no traditional dating, getting to know one another, right? I guess we passed that already.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's Pound Town.
Pound Town.
Mhm.
Oh, they say, I don't want to see you when I wake up.
Oh, really?
That's right.
The women are saying
That's
that?
right.
Don't
Oh,
want to see you when they
gosh.
wake up.
This is only for the night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm
That's
gonna
crazy.
Yes.
I'm gonna open up the phone lines because I'd like to know, from a young woman, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, are you looking for a relationship, or is it just transactional where you just want, as Terry said, don't be there in the morning, right? Just do what you got to do and out the door.
Mhm.
And I get it. Um, Black women are the most educated class in this country right now. And a lot of these women, I guess, figure I don't have the time, the energy, or the tolerance for the traditional dating process. Because a lot of times, you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you get to the prince, right?
Mhm.
So I guess that kind of takes away from, what they hope to accomplish. Because I would imagine that these women start out saying, well, I like to be married by a certain age, have my first child, and they kind of like planned out. And when that doesn't happen, I guess maybe reality sets in like, you know what? Okay, maybe I'm not going to have the children by age 30.
Mhm.
Maybe that's going to be pushed back, but I still have, sexual desire.
Mhm.
And, I don't really feel like going out to a bar, wherever you need to go to meet somebody and go through this, the lies and then the other nonsense that comes with it. So, young ladies, if you're listening, the number here is 888-304-4401. Again, 888-304-4401. Give us a call and let us know what your thoughts are concerning this subject. Um, I don't know. We're from a different generation, right? To us, at least to me, I don't want to speak for you, but I mean, it's disturbing to me.
It's very disturbing.
Right.
It is very disturbing. I have a granddaughter.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah.
So,
And so much of what we do and so much of what we see is based on social media, right? And the media in general. So if you have somebody like, and what's her name again?
Sexy Red.
Sexy Red. If you have somebody like that, and she has the ear of our youth, right? and she's selling products, like gonorrhea and things of that nature.
And here's what I have to say, and I'm sorry to cut you
That's
off.
quite all right.
But when you say lip gloss is called yellow discharge or gonorrhea, and you're speaking to a younger population of girls, that normalizes something that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow discharge is not normal.
Right.
Gonorrhea is not normal.
Right.
But when you make light of it like that and people are walking around, so that means you have on lip gloss and somebody's going to say, oh my goodness, I love your lip gloss. What color is that?
Right.
Oh, it's gonorrhea.
Mm.
So she's normalizing STDs
Mm-hmm.
and promiscuity. That's what she's doing. Pound town. How about this? Interchangeable baby daddies.
Really?
She said, my son needs a new pappy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down in Miami looking for a hoochie daddy. This is craziness.
It is, from our generation, from our perspective, it is. It makes me wonder about this generation. If that is what young men are hearing, and you actually see a young woman wearing this brand of lip gloss, what does that say about her in the mind of a young teenage boy, right? I mean, of course, again, our generation, you met somebody, you got their phone number, you called, you talked on the phone, you went out to the movies, something like that. You got to know one another, right? I'm talking, when I was in my early teens, you might wait 6 weeks to get a kiss on the cheek, right? Times were hard, right? The struggle was real. Nowadays, you might wait 6 hours.
6 hours? You slow.
Well, you got to figure. It might take you a while to get there, right?
No, don't.
Well, it depends on the distance, right? Depends on the distance.
Okay.
So you see them on Facebook, right? You're like, okay, let me friend them, right? Then, okay, you got to get some information like where do you live, what's your address, phone number, stuff like that.
And the new pictures come with all that information.
Okay,
wait. The nude pictures.
Come with all that information, yes.
What nude pictures if you just saw them on Facebook?
Ain't nobody got time for that. Everybody in a rush. This is a microwave society now. They're gonna get all the small talk. They want to get that out the way. Let's get that out the way.
Right.
Let's see if we can do this. Let's get this out the way. Show me what you're working with.
Okay, so 6 hours, I'm told, is a long time, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess we have to, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the distance.
How long it take you to get where she's at?
Right.
Or her to
Or
get
for
where
her to
you
come
at?
to you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Sometimes they meet in the middle.
They meet in the middle. Okay, okay. But now some of these women seem very, very young, right? Maybe high school, barely out of high school, right? So they might not have the funds to travel. So you might have to get to them, right? So it might take you a couple hours before it's on and popping. I think what it is, years ago, we had elders in the community that were respected. And, they would tell young men how to conduct themselves. So you knew when you out on the corner, if you saw Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so coming, you got out of their way. And it was always, how you doing, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. You referred to them as ma'am and sir, right? You gave them that much respect. And they would let you know, hey, as a young man, this is not how you conduct yourself. And the big one was, well, I know your mother and your father. And I know you don't need to be hanging out with that particular crew, right? Because I know what they're about. And you, of course, took that information, you listened to it. Nowadays, the role models have been replaced. It's not grandma and grandpa anymore. It's not the pastor. It's not, this community leader. Now it's social media. So now you created a platform for somebody like Sexy Red.
Mm-hmm.
And you know something,
Who I wish you could see.
maybe I don't want to see.
Maybe you need to see.
Maybe I don't want to see. Now, you know, I'm gonna tell you something, right? I think one of the greatest rappers, male or female, is Little Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Little Kim was explicit, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no guessing game when it came to Little Kim. I didn't think that it can get worse. But now you say you got this young lady, Sexy Red, with her gonorrhea lip gloss.
Who's not sexy?
Right.
But you know, Little Kim was the prelude to the kiss. See,
Mhm.
what you see, and it's about industry plants,
Mm-hmm.
the game was set up for us to lose a long time ago. And I tell y'all the story all the time when I quit that job at Atlantic Records. You know what I mean? They slid us in with Little Kim and Foxy Brown. They were the first ones that started talking reckless
Mm-hmm.
and super sexualized and with the photo shoots and all that other stuff. They slow walked us with them. And once we didn't push back on that and we accepted it, the floodgates opened.
Well, you know
Because
something.
think about it.
Mhm.
Let me take you way back. I'm gonna take you way back.
Mm-hmm.
How did they push homosexuality on America? I'm gonna take you all the way back to WHT. Remember the first little cable box, WHT?
Wameka Home Theater.
Right.
Yeah.
And you remember they had that program, Cell Block H, on WHT?
That I don't remember.
That was kind of like the orange is the new black or whatever that. It was
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they first started showing you homosexuality in that program.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't men, it was women. Because they knew that people could accept gay women before they would accept gay men.
Right.
And they snuck the lipstick lesbian in because men would not push back on that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And women didn't push back on it. And that's how they slowly pushed it on us. So I remember that with WHT, right? And me being there at Atlantic Records when they had that meeting and they said it was changing the direction of the Black music division, asses wiggling, titties jiggling, murder, death, kill, and all the people like Common and Most Def and all those artists just like that. Overnight, radio stopped playing their music; they were gone,
Mm-hmm.
and all you heard was gangster rap, murder, death, kill, and super sexualized stuff.
Right.
And it has only gotten worse.
Well, yeah, you know, because I can remember as a kid, right? I mean, you had somebody like Betty Wright
Mm-hmm.
from the 70s, right? And she was suggestive,
Mm-hmm.
right? She wouldn't come out
So we
and say, right, you know, we had it, right? You know, we had, you know, the records, the Richard Pryor,
Mm-hmm.
right? We weren't allowed to listen to those,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that was an extreme during that time. Now, you know, nothing's left to the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's like out there. And you look at some of these photos on Facebook, right? Very little is left to the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now it's all transactional. It's not about meeting somebody, settling down, and forming a relationship. It's about, all right, let's meet wherever. We're going to do what we got to do. You go your way, I go my
They
way.
just want the relations. There's no shit. Nobody wants to ship. Just
Right.
relations. It's all about the relations. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Ron said, "Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
unfortunately, that's the way it is.
yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that kind of answered that question. So, I mean, I guess
the
in that light,
the women want other women within the relationships.
they want other women.
Yes,
Yep.
they want other women
Yep.
within the relationships.
Yep.
They want a unicorn in the relationship. I did reading.
Yes.
A unicorn.
Did
Yes.
I that's right, right?
Yes.
Yes. They
Yes.
want
Okay.
unicorns.
Yes.
Okay.
Relationship.
Now this is something new to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Baisden will school you. Here's a whole page
On unicorns.
on
Everything.
polyamorous relationships.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well,
So,
you know what? Look, I can get with that, right? If you're a consenting adult and you decide to bring another consenting adult into your relationship, if you're both,
These are high school kids doing this.
okay, now that's
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
You're not
These are high school-
consenting adults.
these are
And-
high school kids.
and then, so let's just say we are consenting adults and we do that. Do we then get to complain about what we see the next generation do if we paint a picture for them that says this is acceptable, like this is okay? And if we say it's not okay, are we being the moral police and judging everyone because we say this is not cool?
You know, okay, my thought has always been that what goes on within the privacy of your own home behind closed doors is your business.
Mhm.
And no one has the right to come into your home and tell you,
Mhm.
you know, this is incorrect. But we're talking about consenting adults, right? So for people in high school or in college for that matter, if you're under my roof,
Mhm.
well, then my roof, my rules. And if you can't deal with that, I'm sorry, the door swings both ways.
But I mean,
So you must be going to take the door off the hinges in your house.
a lot of people are
No.
doing that now. A lot of
Well, have
people
to.
are doing that too. I've been seeing a lot of parents do that now.
Doing what?
Take the door off the hinges.
Well,
in the
no.
bedroom.
See, you don't need the doors off the hinges. All you need to do is monitor who comes in your home. So you got to get through the front door first.
Yeah, but now we have all of this computer stuff. They don't need anybody to come in the home. They're in the room with the door closed, and there's all kinds of stuff going on in the room with the door closed on the computer.
But you're not going to get pregnant over the computer.
But Ron,
No, but you'll get lured somewhere.
how about the girl who had an OnlyFans page or whatever thing it was, and the girl had over $20,000 in this account,
Right.
and her parents didn't realize it, but she started going out shopping and buying stuff, and she said her girlfriend's parents went shopping and brought her some things.
Mhm.
Come to find out, she had an OnlyFans page, and these men were paying her to do whatever she do in her room, in her house, with her webcam, in her phone, and they were paying her
Mhm.
underneath her parents' roof, in her bedroom with her door closed.
Well, see, now those are parents who aren't paying attention, right? And it happens all the time. You have to know your children, and you have to understand what your children are capable of.
Mhm.
You know, we see there was a case in Chicago. We had a mentally disturbed young man who, clearly because you've been taking this young man for treatment. And for his birthday, his parents said, I think it's a good idea to buy him a gun. And then he went and he did a mass shooting, right? These are parents who are not paying attention. And if you're paying attention to what's going on under your roof, then you see the signs. See, you're not going to come in with a bunch of bags in my house and tell me some story. Oh, my friend, because I'm calling the friend. Oh, you say your friend's mama? What's the
I
number?
agree. Yeah, let me go on. Why they
Yeah,
buying you all this
Exactly. What's
Mhm.
going on here?
Mhm.
Let me make a couple of phone calls.
stuff?
Let me check your computer.
Well, finally, that's how the parents found out, because they began to do their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because the little girl, high school girl, was coming in there with too many expensive things, and the mother realized that one of the handbags that she had cost about $8,000.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So nobody's parent brought you an $8,000 handbag.
No way.
You know what I mean? And she said it was fake,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow the mother started paying attention and realized it wasn't fake, and then they did their due diligence and found out she had this OnlyFans page, and at that she spent a ton of money, and at that point she had over $20,000 still in the account.
Wow.
Money coming in, because everybody want likes. I see these grown women every day posting these pictures of themselves every day on social network. You know what I mean? And they're very attractive. They don't need to do this. And you know what? You want to know why you're never gonna be a wife? That's why.
Well, what kind of pictures is it?
They
Like,
just
regular pictures.
just super sexy pictures,
Wow.
pictures. You know what I mean? Everybody want to go to bed with a porn star. Nobody want to marry none. You know what I mean?
And I think that's the problem, right? So when you're a younger woman, if you're out of high school, in college, for you it might be okay. Transactional sex isn't bad because I'm not looking to settle down. I got 2, 3 more years of college, right? And then
You're gonna dance your way to school, right?
right,
Dance your way through school.
there you go. Then I'll go into the job market, things of that nature, and then when I'm settled, then I'll start thinking about meeting Mr. Right. But when you decide you want to meet Mr. Right, you have a track record,
Mhm.
right? You have these photos that can easily be located because they're always in the cloud. You cannot erase stuff. It's there somewhere to be found.
Can I
right?
tell you something
Mm-hmm.
right now? And I can give it to you. I have it. There's a program that you can put on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hooked up to facial recognition. You can literally see somebody walking down the street and turn your phone to them and take a picture of them, and all their information pops up. All their social network stuff will pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's private, you can't see it,
Right.
but it will identify them, their Instagram, their Facebook, their Twitter.
So now you have their name.
You have their name. You have
everything.
all their stuff from facial recognition.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And they were saying that wasn't working too well for Black folks, but I guess they perfected it. Huh?
Let me tell you something. I work in technology every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that stuff works very well.
Mm.
It works very well.
Wow.
Very well.
That's scary.
It really is.
You know what? When they said it didn't work well on us, that was to slow walk us.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't push back and think it didn't work. You know what I mean? It worked very well. It works better on us than anybody else. You kidding?
What they were saying in terms of
Because the color of our skin.
what they were saying
No.
for in terms of, I guess, law enforcement, right? They would have a lot of instances where people would be misidentified. Darker skinned people would be misidentified, which ain't nothing new because we've been being misidentified
That's right.
since we've been in this country,
Right.
But I didn't know there was such an app.
It did. Yes.
So I might do like Michael Jackson, start walking around wearing a mask,
Mhm.
because it's crazy.
There is an app. There's an app.
Wow.
And like I said, I know about it because of what I do.
Right.
And like right now, all the schools have these elaborate ID systems now.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go into the schools, they want you to type all this information in, and it actually gives you a PIN number. So if you come back to the school again, all you got to do is just type your PIN in, and they'll print you out a pass and everything else. It's all technology. Everything's based upon a central database. And when they say Big Brother's watching, it's all tied together to a central database. And they can see everything. They know everything about everybody. You know what I mean? So it's nowhere for you to run. It's nowhere for you to hide. So if you got them nudes out there and you posted them on social network, you got an OnlyFans page and all that other stuff, because when I scan her picture, if she got an OnlyFans page, it's going to come up as a list of one of her social network things. And that's one of the things that's keeping a lot of people out of jobs.
Well,
Because
something?
one of the things they do on a job interview now is
They ask for your social media.
they go for your social media. And if you don't give it up, it's okay.
Right.
Because
You're not going to get hired.
they're going to scan your ID. You're going to give me your ID, right? They're going to scan your ID. When they scan your ID, all that, it's going to come up anyway.
Well, I guess that's something that isn't taken into consideration. If you're going to post these pictures, right, these explicit photos online, okay, right now you're 18, you're 20 years old. 4 or 5 years from now, when you're entering the job market and you going in there with your power suit on and you sit across from the interviewer and they ask you about yourself, well, could it be that they already pulled up your social media?
Absolutely.
And have a folder sitting there and they're going to ask you, well, you say that you want to enter the business world, that you're a consummate professional. Well, how do you explain these photos?
This.
I mean, and is being young, is
That's not
that
it.
an adequate answer?
No, it's not.
Well,
No, it's not.
well, what about, because my girlfriend and I were talking about this. So we come from the era of Freaknik,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Black Couch was
And they
pretty-
did, yeah, that's my generation,
Mhm.
right? So and now here we are, fast forward to 2023, and
But-
they
but
do
guess
this
what?
documentary.
You remember Freaknik and Black Couch Week and all those Greek fests? People literally had to have a Polaroid camera. There was actually tangible hard copy photos. So to do that documentary, they had to have people go find all these pictures to
That's
put these pictures together,
crazy.
right? But
So wait a minute. Oh, you mean they have
That-
Polaroids because that's what we had?
That's
now.
what we had.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's harder to track you from that era today than it is now. Everybody got a phone.
but they're
it's digital.
tracking them.
Yes, because a lot of people, there's a lot of pictures out there,
Yes.
but there's a lot of people that's going to fall through the cracks. But because of this new technology of facial recognition, and you see I'm sure you saw the ads on social network where they can show you how they can age you, make you
Oh,
look
yeah,
younger,
yeah,
and make you look
yes.
older.
Sure.
All that's facial recognition stuff. So they can take that picture from when you was 18 years old, right? Scan that picture when
And
you
know
was
what
18
you
years old
look like
and know who
today.
you are today. And
Yeah, the progression, the age progression.
Roman, this is you today. You know what I mean? And if it ain't you, it's gonna be very close to you.
Well, guess what I have to say?
What's that?
I'm so glad that when my friends went to Freaknik, I didn't go.
Right. Yeah, 'cause-
Because we had conversations. We had whole conversations, and everybody's in a panic
right.
because they don't want these pictures to surface. They're like, oh my God, they're doing a documentary. I hope there's no pictures of me that surface.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the same thing like those two young ladies I saw in the beginning of that Pound Town video who were just fans,
Right.
but they standing slapping their own behinds and all that. Like, that's forever out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When you're somebody's grandmother,
Absolutely.
that's forever out there.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So I think maybe
You know what the old saying says? It ain't even an old saying. There's no such thing as a half mistake.
No,
You
it's
know what I
not.
mean? Ain't no such thing as a half mistake. So you might as well go all the way.
Well, you know something? Our generation, you can make a mistake, right? And it's not broadcast around the world.
Mm-hmm,
Nowadays, for these young people,
mm-hmm.
your mistakes are going global,
Yes,
right?
they
Absolutely.
are.
And I was watching something in the gym the other day, how some of these well-known stars started out, playing music in their home, put it on YouTube, got a following, and next thing you know, they're the next big thing. Somebody like Justin Bieber,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, it can have a positive effect. You know what I mean? If you're in the music industry and you want to be noticed.
Look at Kim Kardashian.
Well, yeah, right.
She did the blow and go.
She did,
And never
it
looked
worked.
back.
And Paris Hilton, right?
Absolutely.
It worked for them.
Yes.
But then again, these young ladies were not poor to start with, especially Paris Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But, and something, when you have money, you have the ability to hide things, right? You can go out and hire people who are going to say, take down stuff, maybe go into the cloud and remove stuff. If you're just,
Like rumors is that Jay-Z had a lot of stuff with his wife taken down.
Yeah, I heard that too.
In fact, if you Google the Happily Ever After video with Case,
right,
it's hard to find that video on YouTube because Beyonce was a love interest in that video when she was about 14 years old.
Well, see, I mean, like, again, if you have the money, you can go in a cloud and hire people who are going to go track this stuff. I guess it's like media consultants or whatever. They'll find it, and they'll eliminate the problem. And then their job is to, foresee these issues and to stop it before it happens.
Just like that program, Reputation Defender,
Mm-hmm.
in that service,
Right.
where they can pull all the negative stuff about you off the internet.
Right.
You know?
Right. But if you
But
don't
you-
know that,
But you got to pay a monthly fee.
you got to pay. And if you don't know about it, right, you're just thinking today, right now, today, I have, 1 million likes, 500,000 views, right? So I'm making some money, and that's great. However, 5, 10 years down the road, when you're not the new thing on the block, and you have to go out and maybe get a 9 to 5, all that stuff from before is there and very easily found, right?
Mhm.
So I was just kind of curious about that because I see these pictures all the time, and it makes me wonder, like, sister, what are you thinking? What is it you want to attract?
Mhm.
I mean, yes, I know we live in a society now where you have people who refer themselves as they and them,
Them,
right?
which I just can't.
I don't understand that
I
either.
can't. I can't.
It doesn't compute.
No,
right? It doesn't compute for me. But I know that the nature of a man is going to respond to the shape and the form of a woman, right?
But some of these women just have their self-esteem is so low, and I look at these pictures every day myself,
Right,
and I shake my head and I say, "You gorgeous, you beautiful, you don't have to do this."
right.
You know what I mean? Why you? Why? And I want to tell them sometimes, you please stop doing this.
But you know something? They don't know it, right?
Maybe you should.
They
tell her.
don't know it.
Oh, you know what? I've seen some brothers who reach out to them and tell them that they're beautiful, that they don't need to do that. They curse them out. They call them haters.
Haters.
Yeah, stay off my effing page and blah 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 blah. Because they are it's an addiction for people to see that you got 2,000 likes.
Oh, the like.
You know what I mean? Because they tend to amount to jailhouse jerk off pictures. You know what I mean? If you see a picture on social network that if a man was in prison he would jerk off to it, you shouldn't put that picture on the social network.
Well, I mean, there was a thing known as privacy years ago, right? Where if you took a picture for your husband or your wife, only they're going to see it, right? That went in the bottom of the drawer somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
In an envelope that was browned out and old as
Mhm.
hell. Nowadays, right, it's everything is out there. So, I mean, guys nowadays, if you're in jail, and you get a picture, I mean, well, if you have access to a computer, you don't need a picture no more.
But even in prison,
Yeah,
I found out, like, you remember how we was little kids, we used to flip baseball cards,
sure.
right? Well, in prison, those cards, those pictures were like baseball cards. They would flip those pictures and pass them around because guess what? I got tired of looking at these here. Let me look at yours, you look at mine, and blah, blah, blah. And them pictures go all through the jail system.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And you're lucky if they make their way back to you.
That's
Right.
terrible.
You know what I mean? So, hey,
It-
ladies beware. But the problem is, when you try to tell them, they don't listen.
And you know something? Now, there was a time, right, when for women, nobody wanted to have a reputation, right? You didn't want to be called a hoe, right?
Mhm.
Sisters would fight the hell out of you.
But Cardi
If
B
you
said it's
call
about the
them-
bag now.
Well, listen.
About that bag now.
Now, she is of a younger generation, but our generation, you called a woman a hoe or the B word, you had to fight.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Sexy Red says she's a hoe.
Okay. Well, that's a new generation, right? Before,
Forget somebody calling her a hoe.
right. She calls
She
herself a
said,
hoe.
I'm a hoe.
Well, you know what? And that's a situation too, because you hear a lot of women, right, throw around the B word. Oh, B, what you doing? Right? Like it's part of the American lexicon now. It's not a taboo word anymore.
Mhm.
It's something that's used constantly. Hey, B, what you doing? Right? So, things have really gotten out of hand, right?
Mhm.
These pictures just, I guess, an indication of a much more serious issue, right? And some of it is just maybe wanting attention. Some maybe want a relationship with a man, and they think this is how you go about it. I mean, I don't know. I had hoped that someone will call in and we can get a younger woman's perspective, know what it is that they're thinking, but we reached that time, and we're going to have to come back at you next Thursday and come with another Thoughtful Thursday, I guess, subject that will hopefully get people to think.
And I'm hoping that this kind of provoked some thought, right? Because we really do need to think about it. And we need to think about what we are showing the younger generation.
Absolutely.
Like I said before, if we are in these relationships where there are more than two people in these relationships, and this is what we show them, we have to kind of be accountable for that too.
We do. Our parents sheltered us from
Well, because here's the deal: they don't keep it in the bedroom.
right.
Even they're all over social media and stuff
Right,
like that.
right.
So
Nothing's
you know how you
private
said what
anymore.
you do in your bedroom is your business,
Right.
but then it comes out of the bedroom.
You invite people into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, folks, we are going to be back with you next Thursday. But y'all stay tuned. Y'all continue to support Gynesis Radio on all those platforms. And y'all stay tuned. We got some good music coming up. And we hope to see you right here next Thursday. Y'all take care.
bye. Peace.